Well, good afternoon and welcome to Alamo, Texas. Not very often we get to say good afternoon. We had some shuffling done early this morning because we had a storm come through the Rio Grande Valley last night after midnight, and there have been chaos throughout the Rio Grande Valley. A lot of unplayable fields, but they were able to find one that they could play on today, and the game got moved up to 5 p.m. So we thank you for being here today. Again, as we mentioned, we are in Alamo, Texas, as your Lady Panthers take on the Lady Bears in Game 2 of this best-of-3 series in the bi-district playoffs here in the state of Texas. We got Vinny Berry, got Val Zamora, Mike Gonzalez, and Joe Aguilar bringing you all the action from tonight's game. Last night, a good one. Lady Panthers defeated the Lady Bears in Game 1, 12-5.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. They jumped right from the start, took a 12-0 lead after 3 innings, and then they allowed 5 runs. So momentum-wise, the Bears have to feel pretty good coming into Game 2. You know, when you fall behind that much and then you want to take something positive, well, they get to do that a little bit, and they're going to come up at bat first. And for the Lady Panthers, it's, hey, you're up 1-0. Let's see if we can take care of business this afternoon. Go home with the sweep and start thinking about next week.
Well, as we mentioned, a storm did go by last night, brought the temperatures down a bit. We are in South Texas, so it's 81 degrees. Humidity is low, but the one thing that is doing is the wind is a-blow, and it's blowing at 21 miles an hour out to right field today and gusting at times, I'd have to say, at about 35 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and give you the starting lineup for the visiting team, the Lady Bears. They'll lead off with Aldemi Rodriguez. Batting second is going to be Juliana Guajardo. Batting third, Ari Hernandez. Batting fourth, Alyssa Flores. Batting fifth, Azul Rios. Batting sixth, Alexa Avila. Batting seventh, Camila Figueroa. Batting eighth, Larissa De Hoyos. And batting ninth, Amari Vega. Leading it off, Rodriguez. Z is what they call her, showing bunt, brings it back, watches that first pitch go by for ball one.
And the numbers on Z last night, she was 1 for 4 with a single. That came in the 5th inning, and she scored the first run. Well, actually, it was one of the runs in the 3-run 5th inning for PSJA.
Again, shows bunt as she waits for the second pitch. That one missing outside, ball two. Defensively, your Lady Panthers line up like this. Dayla Hinojosa in left, Lola Rios in center, Andrea Ortiz in right. At third base, Alexis Solis. Mia Rodriguez at second. At first, Elizabeth Craig. Shortstop is Lexi Escamilla, the only senior on this ball club. Behind the plate doing the catching, Romy Nunez. And again, in the circle is Madeline Cantu. A complete game from her last night. Third pitch of the ball game. That one is right at the letters for strike one. Home plate umpires, you just heard him call out the strike, Eric Donaldson. At first base is going to be Jesse Aragus, and at third base is Jesse Aragus. At first base is going to be David Marginal. So the count is 2 balls and a strike to the leadoff batter, Aldemi Z. Rodriguez. Swung on, fly ball, back goes Rodriguez, and she cannot get to it. The runner is going to second. And I was about to mention that with the early start of this ball game, the wind is not only blowing to right, but it's going to be shining to the players on the right side of the field. So both Mia Rodriguez and Andrea Ortiz battling the sun as they're trying to find that fly ball.
Well, we saw Mia work last night. She had about 8 plays that went to her side and did a great job. But at that time, you mentioned, Joe, with the wind playing a factor and blowing toward right field, and it's going to be an effect pretty much the whole game this afternoon.
That'll bring up the shortstop, Juliana Guajardo. Fly ball, and it's caught. Great job by the third baseman, Alexis Solis, as Juliana Guajardo tried to lay down a bunt, but it went up in the air, and she came fast forward and just dove and grabbed and hung on to that ball to secure the first out of the inning.
Yeah, thankfully the ball stayed up as long as it did, and Solis hustling from third, making the play. Normally when the ball's in front of home plate, it goes to the catcher, but Solis just was able to hustle fast enough. And when we talk about the speed of the Lady Panthers, and that also takes place on defense.
Ari Hernandez next up for the Lady Bears. She is the pitcher. She is a sophomore, if I recall correctly, and she had a complete game last night as well, and she'll be in the circle for the Lady Bears tonight or this afternoon also.
Right. For going back to Madeline Cantu, you're right. She did throw a complete game. She allowed 6 hits, 5 runs. The interesting thing, Joe, is neither pitcher, no strikeouts.
That's going to be a foul ball as Alexis Solis backhanded that, and it was in foul territory by all of maybe 6 to 8 inches. So that was a foul ball called by the home plate umpire. So it's going to be 0-2 the count to the opposing pitcher, Ari Hernandez. I did want to mention the batter prior to Hernandez was Juliana Mojarro, the name we didn't mention last night because she was out running track at regionals. So they've got her back tonight, and Coach was talking about now he feels more comfortable because everybody's in their regular natural positions.
Right, because Juliana plays at shortstop, so because they missed Juliana, they had to reshuffle their lineup, and one of them was the second baseman moving to short, and now she'll be back at her regular position, and so are a few other players. And so
breaking ball right back at the pitcher, and a great job by Cantu to stick out her glove to the left to grab that one. So back-to-back infield flies or line drives, whatever you want to call them, and that's 2 outs, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Alyssa Flores.
So unfortunately for the Lady Bears, because of that shuffling, they, as a team, had 8 errors, and he felt like that played a part of it. But he says today, no excuse. We have no excuse. He has everybody back where they should be, and he feels pretty confident.
That's a fastball right down the pipe for strike one.
Fastball right down the middle for strike one.
And this young lady with a great night last night went 3 for 4 with a double and 2 singles and had that 3-run bases clearing double in that 5th inning. That pretty much kept the game alive for the Lady Bears. At the time, if you remember, Joe, was 12-0.
Yeah, maybe gave them that spark that they needed last night to at least get something going. That was a swing and a miss for strike 2. So 0-2 again. We see Cantu getting ahead in the count on the batters back-to-backs. 0-2. Breaking ball, grounder, knocked down by Solis. And they're going to send the runner home, then she's going to stop. Great job by Hinojosa to come up for that one because that was in between third and short. Solis diving over to her left was able to put a glove on it, which did not allow Lexi to really get a grip on that ball. So it just kind of got out there to shallow left field. But Hinojosa came up quickly because they thought really hard about sending Z home.
And if you remember last night, Lexi made a similar play like that at shortstop. That it was an infield hit, couldn't do anything about it, but it did save a run at that time.
That'll bring up the first baseman, Azul Rios. And the first pitch missing on the outside corner for ball one, excuse me.
And the numbers on Azul last night, 0 for 2, but she did draw 2 walks. And now they're looking for her to bring in the first run of the afternoon.
That one is in there for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Azul Rios. They call her Blue. As you mentioned, she did walk twice last night. If I'm not mistaken, she was the first walk of the game yesterday because we had no strikeouts, and then all of a sudden we finally had a walk late in the ball game last night. So real good pitching outings by both sides. That's a swing and a miss for strike 2.
Strike 2 with 2 outs.
One of the things we talked about last night is runner left on base, and the Lady Bears stranded, in my notes, I have 8. So they did have some opportunities in the game, but Cantu, great job getting out of some of those innings.
Here comes the 1-2. That one is low, but a good job by Nunez to bleed in front of that one and block that one and avoid at least an attempt to score there with a runner on third. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top half of the first. The Bears do have runners at second and third with Rios at the plate. Swung on, that's going to be at first, and they're going to say foul. Again, that barely foul. We had one barely foul on third base side of the field. That one just barely fouled there to first base side of the field. Craig waiting on that one, hoping it would maybe bounce back in. I think that's what she was waiting for.
So the ball bounces back in. Is it fair?
It is if it doesn't get beyond the base.
Yeah, and I was kind of hearing some of the fans behind us. We're sitting right behind the Lady Panther fans, and some of them were kind of going, ooh, like that was very close.
That is low and outside for ball 3, and that'll bring it to count full. So 3-2 count on the batter, 2 outs, runners at second and third. Let's see what the freshman will dial up here as the payoff pitch. And it's on its way. That is hit up the middle. Lexi picks it up, fires the first. Not in time. 1 run comes in. So that's an E6, an error on the throw.
Puts runners in the corner.
So with that said, no RBI there, but the Lady Bears do jump on front.
1-0.
Brings up number 6, Alexa Avila. Correction, 22, Alexa Avila.
So that'll bring up the catcher, Alexa Avila.
And Alexa was 1 for 4 last night, did have a single, and that was in the second inning.
Yeah, you talked about the defense and coming into their element, Mike, about the Lady Bear team. This is one of the players that was out of position last night. Coach Madera was talking about it earlier today with us as he was mentioning they had the catcher at first base at second base. So Alexa was playing second base last night, which is not normal for her. She came back. She's going to be back in her normal position at catcher here this afternoon, and going out to play second is going to be Amari Vega. And, of course, she started last night as well, and she was playing shortstop. So
she's
as you
moving
mentioned,
back to second
she's
base.
moving back to second.
Yeah. And yesterday she batted in the second spot, and today it looks like they have her down here in the number 9 spot. Well, between her and a flex player, so she may or may not get an at bat. But they have her down here.
Yeah, she's the 9-hole today. Last night, of course, she went
0 for 3.
1 for 3.
1 for 3.
1 for 3 and a walk.
And a walk.
Yeah.
She did score twice.
So after a quick visit to the circle, we'll be back to live action. Once again at the plate, it's going to be the catcher, Alexa Avila. Runners at the corner, and Blue Rios at first and Flores at third. Another hit to Alexi Escamilla. This time she throws a strike, and that is out number 3. However, the Lady Bears did have 2 hits, 1 run, left 2 runners stranded, 1 error on the Lady Panthers. We played half an inning. The Lady Bears scored 1 in their top half. Your Lady Panthers coming to bat.
Before David Lozano started practicing law, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. He participated in UIL athletics. He was a regional qualifier. He earned college credits through the dual enrollment program. After high school, he attended the University of Texas before graduating from St. Mary's School of Law. Now he helps people in need as an attorney. WISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For David Lozano, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
Heading to the bottom of the first inning, Lady Panthers coming up to bat for the first time this afternoon, and they'll bat like this. Leading things off are going to be the right fielder, number 11, Andrea Ortiz. Batting second, the center fielder, Lola Reyes. Batting third is going to be the third baseman, Alexis Solis. Batting fourth, the second baseman, Mia Rodriguez. Batting fifth is going to be the designated player, Clarissa Mejia. Batting sixth, the catcher, Romy Nunez. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Lexi Escamilla. Batting eighth, the first baseman, Elizabeth Craig. And batting ninth, the left fielder, Dela Hinojosa. Defensively, the Lady Bears will line up like this. In left field, Larissa De Hoyo. Center field, Gabriela Zuniga. Aldelmi Rodriguez in right. Alyssa Flores at third. Amory Vega at second. Azul Rios at first. At shortstop, Juliana Guajardo behind the plate doing the catch, and Alexa Avila. And in the circle for the Lady Bears this afternoon, Ari Hernandez. And the first pitch from Hernandez is a breaking ball, and it's going to be grounded foul down the third base side of the field. So count is 0-1 to Andrea Ortiz. Ortiz, a .412 hitter. Stats have been updated for the season.
And last night she was 1 for 5, had a single in 2 runs, but she hit the ball very hard all night. And we saw how aggressive she was, especially at the first time at bat. You remember she swung at the very first pitch.
First 2 times at bat.
Right.
Outside, ball 1. So she didn't like that pitch and let it go by. So count is 1 ball and 1 strike.
In addition to the 1 hit she had last night, she had an RBI in the second inning.
Swung on, that's hit to right field, and it's going to drop. The right fielder, Rodriguez, coming up hard, but just couldn't make a play on the ball. Almost got a full glove on it.
Yeah, I thought for a second that she did catch it there, but you're right, Joe. You need to have the ball inside your glove the whole way, kind of like in football when you catch the ball.
I want to guess that maybe that glove got caught up in the turf as she was coming forward because she had to come up to get that ball. And that's going to bring up the center fielder, Lola Reyes, a left-handed batter, 356 hitter on the year. Just want to send a big shout-out to her dad. He works out of town, has been watching K-West softball for many, many years now. Because, of course, we talked about it last night. Katia was a 4-year starter. And so with Lola starting last year as a freshman, having those two on the ball club last year.
And she had a very busy game one. She was 2 for 3. And one of the hits was an inside the park home run that drove in 3 runs. She had 5 RBIs overall, and she also had a single. So a great night at the plate, and she thinks she made a few plays at center field as well defensively.
Yeah, she had that big catch where she moved all the way almost to left field. But we've seen that from her since last year. So 0-1 the count to Reyes. Swings at it right to the pitcher, little dribbler, advances the runner, but an errant throw, and they're going to send the runner to third. Will they send her home? They are sending her home, and there is no play at the plate. That ball did not get to the plate on time, and Andrea Ortiz with a headfirst slide to tie up the game at 1. What a play by Coach Rodriguez. Did not hesitate to send the speedy Ortiz.
We know how aggressive Coach Rodriguez is, especially when there's runners on base, and no hesitation. He knows what kind of team he has, and we know how fast Ortiz and some of these other runners are, and took advantage of the opportunity. We also talked about the field. This field is very similar to the one at PSJA High, so a lot of room in foul territory. So that ball was off the mark and went all the way to the fence back there. And the first baseman had to go chase it, so that allowed the runners to keep running, and now we have a tie game.
Yeah, there's got to be at least, Mike, 15, if not maybe close to 20 yards from the foul line to the fence. So that's quite a bit of running. That's going to bring up Alexis Solis, the third baseman. She's a .430 hitter this year. That first pitch missing for ball 1.
Pitch outside for ball 1.
And last night, Alexis was 2 for 4 with a triple and a single and 2 RBIs. I was kind of going through my notes here. She was batting 6 last night, and it kind of bumped her up a little bit.
Yeah. That hit is going to be foul.
Oh, fouled away, strike 1.
And just about any field that would be out of play, but not here, as we mentioned earlier. There's a lot of room down the foul balls, the foul lines. Foul territory is pretty big here.
Yeah, Alexis actually hit 7th last night, so they bumped her up to number 3.
Yeah, they flip-flopped her and Lexi.
Yeah. Yeah, in a series, coaches will make adjustments, not only defensively, but in the starting lineup as well.
1-1 count. That is high, and she brings the bat back, so that's going to be ball 2. Showing bunt was Solis, but she brought it back as we mentioned. So the count is 2 balls and a strike to her. And again, Mike, one of the things that we want to talk about is the speed of these Lady Panthers. Right now, as we said, Coach Rodriguez did not hesitate on sending Ortiz, and Lola Reyes got all the way to third. That is hit hard to center field, and Lola Reyes is going to score. And just like that, your Lady Panthers are on top 2-1.
Saw a great pitch. It just took it up the middle there for a base hit. Great piece of hitting by Alexis, and now has her 3rd hit of the series, 3 for 5 overall.
And that'll bring up Mia Rodriguez. She had that home run last night to left field.
Yeah, she kind of started the party in game 1 with that 2-run shot over the left field wall, and that kind of set the tempo for the game.
First pitch to her is going to miss.
So I like the way the Lady Panthers bounced back after giving up a run in the top of the first.
That is hit right back at the pitcher really hard. She picks it up and fires it to first for out number 1. But Solis does get to second on that one, and that'll bring up the designated player, Clarissa Mejia, 318 hitter.
And last night she was 1 for 4 with a single, and that hit came in the third inning. A courtesy runner came in and scored that run. But even though that was an out, Joe, at last at bat, the runner moved on, and that's almost like pretty much like a sacrifice bunt there.
Right.
So I know that Coach Rodriguez is pretty happy about that.
Yeah, because it moves a runner into scoring position. So anything in the outfield is going to score her.
And you talk about the speed. We have a very fast team, top to bottom. So you're right. Any kind of hit will likely drive in that run.
First pitch to Mejia, missing the strike zone. Ball one. Count is 1 ball and no strikes to her. Swung on, fouled back into the netting. Strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Coach Rodriguez giving her a few pointers as she takes a peek down the third base side of the field. And Mejia back in the box. 1-1 count to her. There is 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Pitch is outside for ball 2.
Ball 2 counts at 2-1.
One of the things we talked about last night was in the umpires on how they call the balls and strikes. And whenever there's a game 2, another game, you have to adjust to a different umpire. And I know that's what both pitchers are going to have to do here.
That is hit right back to the pitcher. Runner's going to advance to third as Hernandez decides to go to first for the second time in as many batters. And now with a runner at third, there are 2 outs. That'll bring up Romy Nunez, somebody that hits the ball really hard.
Absolutely. Romy also had a big night last night, 2 for 4 with 2 singles. And that came in the second and third inning. The courtesy runner went in for her in the third inning and scored the run. Lined real hard to third in the 6th inning.
Yeah, she still has a ball that's trying to be found in Corpus Christi.
Yeah, everybody's trying to look for that one, that's for sure.
Here comes the first pitch to Nunez. That one is on the numbers or the lettering for strike 1. The Lady Panthers in their white unis, purple letters, purple numbers. That one is right down the pipe. A little changeup from Hernandez. Kind of caught Nunez thinking about it and just kind of froze. So she's behind in the count, 0-2. Outside for ball 1.
Just outside for ball 1.
I really thought Hernandez made the smart play on that last at bat, going to first base and getting that sure out. Even though the runner went to third base. But if she can get out of this inning with just allowing 2 runs, I think PSJA will take that.
Here comes the 1-2. Swung on, high fly ball, right field over, and it's going to be dropped. Rodriguez could not find it, and that's going to score a run as Nunez hits one to right. And we mentioned this earlier, Mike, that the wind is blowing to right and the sun is shining in the eyes of the people on the right side of the field. So your first baseman, your second baseman, your right fielder, if the ball is hit directly at them, they're looking at the sun.
And one of the things I noticed right away, even when the ball was in the air, is that young lady was not wearing sunglasses. She was kind of using her glove to kind of shield herself a little bit to see if she can find the ball. And unfortunately for her, it didn't work out. The ball is dropped, and the inning stays alive, and the Lady Panthers with their third run of the inning.
Yeah, absolutely. They got 3 runs here in the bottom of the first with a chance to continue to do more damage. We've got a pinch runner, and that's going to be Kiera Sosa, I believe. I'm trying to look at the number 6. That's Kiera Sosa. And Lexi Escamilla, the shortstop, is due next. She is the only senior on this ball club. And, of course, she's going on to play in the next level.
Yeah, last night she went 0 for 4. And the joke I coached with Coach Hinojosa before the game, we kind of joked like the team scores 12 runs and racks up all these hits, and none of them came from Lexi. Like usually that doesn't happen when your star player doesn't rack up a hit anywhere in the lineup.
Well, Escamilla lets the first pitch go by for strike one. Nothing in one to count to her.
But it says the quality program or the team the Lady Panthers have, others stepping up.
Little outside, ball one.
Good eye, evens the count at 1-1.
So the count is 1 ball and 1 strike to the senior Escamilla. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. 3-1, Lady Panthers on top. Pitch is outside, ball 2.
Just outside for ball 2.
So we see Lexi taking the pitches and working hard there, trying to find a way to get her first hit.
And again, another pitch outside, missing the strike zone. 3-1 is the count.
Puts Escamilla ahead of the count, 3-1.
Not sure Hernandez wants to give her something that she can dial up.
With 2 outs in the inning.
Three-one count. Here he comes. That is a strike, and I was just about to say, would you give her the green light with a 3-1, knowing that the pitcher's got to come with a strike?
Yeah, she took that pitch, and now we have a full count with 2 outs.
Sosa is going to be running. So here comes the payoff pitch. Hit hard. That's going to get to the shortstop, picks it up, and cannot make a play. So that's going to be infield hit.
Nice little single for
Great save there by the shortstop, because if not, Sosa would have scored easily from second there. So great job by
And that's going to bring up the first baseman, Elizabeth Craig, a 460 hitter batting in the 8th spot.
Yeah, and what a night she had last night. She had 3 singles and an RBI, went 3 for 4 overall. Scored twice in second and third inning. And we've seen her come through with some pretty big hits, and great opportunity here.
Yep, an opportunity to extend this lead here. Escamilla is going to go to second. No play on that one. So 2 runners in scoring position with Craig at the plate. And the first pitch missing for ball 1.
And that's just great coaching there, because you allow Lexi, you try to steal second base, and if they try to make a throw, and you just send Sosa home with the speed she has.
That's going to be a base hit to right field. And they're going to send Escamilla. Here comes the throw, not in time, and a 2 RBI single for Elizabeth Craig. You talked about clutch hitting coming from Craig. There it is.
Clutch hitting there, and then great base running by Lexi Escamilla. Just to play before, boom, pays off. Craig going the other way to right field. 5 inning, first inning for the Lady Panthers.
And again, the Lady Panthers putting up a 5 spot in the first inning, because I want to say that's what they did last night. No, there was a second inning that they had 5, because it was 2 and then 3, so my bad. But they were up 5-0 at one point.
Yeah, you're right. It was 2 in the first and then 3 in the second.
Yeah.
And then that third inning was
where
they batted
7,
around. They scored 7 runs.
Sent 10 players to the plate. And speaking of sending 10 players to the plate, this is the 9th batter here in the first inning, and that's going to be De La Hinojosa. Think about this. You talked about the team of the Weslaco Lady Panthers. De La Hinojosa is batting 9th. She's a 438 hitter.
Wow, 438 hitter. She had a base hit last night. I have her for 1 for 2 because I know there was a pinch hitter that came in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
So I have her at 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. And that was in that big third inning that we were talking about right now. She bats from the left side, but she made a tremendous play out in left field as well, if you remember.
Yes. That's going to be a foul ball.
We think. Yeah. We see the umpire there. Because it hit her in the
box.
In the box.
So I was waiting for the call. I saw it right away, but of course, what we say doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's what those
It
guys
don't
on the
matter.
field
Yep.
that say it.
It's the blue.
The
And then we
umpire.
see head coach for PSJA come over and talk to him.
Because what I believe he's going to argue is, did she make contact with it? So a
that's-
little conversation being had by the umpires. So go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say that, like, that's probably the question he asked, and then now the umpire has to go out and talk to his crew and just ask what they saw and make a decision.
Yeah, because again, everybody's at a different angle, and from what my angle was, it was a dead ball.
Right.
So the
Like-
umpiring crew agrees with us, Mike.
Yeah. We have a clear angle being on the left side of it. Last night we were more on the right side of it, but now we're on the opposite side.
And plus, she's a left-handed batter.
Exactly.
So nothing in one to count to Hinojosa. Left fielder, as you mentioned, Mike, played really well last night
0-1 in the count.
at the plate and on the field defensively. Craig got a sizable lead. They decide not to make an attempt on her. And the pitch missing the mark, so it's ball one. One ball, one
1-1
strike
for Hinojosa,
to Hinojosa.
with Cantu on deck.
This time Craig is going. The throw is on its way. And the shortstop, Guajardo, was in front of the bag. There was going to be no effort on the play, on the steal. There's no play on the steal because she was in front of the bag.
It's kind of one of those things that no matter what you do, it just kind of feels like somehow, some way, Craig is going to find a way to steal that base or move on to the next base.
Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hinojosa. Outside, that'll even it up at 2.
Outside, evens the count at 2-2.
See, one of the things I noticed with Coach Rodriguez over the years is that when he has base runners like Craig and some of these other, like Ortiz and Reyes, that he'll kind of psychologically have that get to that pitcher a little bit. Like they'll maybe go halfway and just kind of be a distraction between pitcher and catcher.
That's going to be a slap to the shortstop, and not in time.
Gone safely.
And we were talking about
On the corner.
the speed of the Lady Panthers, and just a little slap single to the shortstop. And she came up to get it just as you teach them, but from the left side of the plate, that's 2 strides less that she has to take. And you just couple that with her speed, you ain't getting her.
And when you do that, Joe, you bring up the slapping part of it. You don't hit it that hard. It wasn't hit that hard. It just kind of rolled its way toward the shortstop area. But just her hustle, her speed, that's all you need is to make it to first base.
And back to the top of the order, batter number 10 of the inning. 5-1, Lady Panthers on top. Swings at that one and catches it, but it's foul. So the bat speed of Ortiz really showing there.
For strike 1.
So we see the Lady Panthers in the first 3 innings put the pressure on the Lady Bears, and now they're doing the same thing here in game 2. It's really taking advantage of those base runners.
Ortiz 1 for 1 in this inning.
Yeah, and scored.
Not in the game, in this inning.
Right.
I just wanted to say that. Don't get to say that too many times or too often. Nothing in 1 to count to Ortiz. Little low. Taking second base is going to be Hinojosa, and she's in there.
Hinojosa safely at second.
So she's got a stolen base.
I'm a little surprised Craig didn't go on
Exactly.
that play. I'm not surprised that Hinojosa went to second, but
Yeah.
I am surprised that Craig didn't go on that play.
And Rodriguez is telling her right now
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying. So 2 runners in scoring position with Ortiz at the plate. Swung on, fly ball behind the catcher. And the catcher makes the grab for out number 3. So that'll do it for the Lady Panthers.
Up 5-1.
5 hits, 5 runs, 2 runners left on. There was one error in the inning, but we played one here in Alamo. It's your Lady Panthers 5, the Lady Bears 1. Head to the second inning. Lady Panthers on top, 5-1. Lady Bears coming to bat for the second time this afternoon. They'll send batters 7, 8, and 9 to the plate. Camila Figueroa, Larissa De Hoyos, and Amory Vega. Cantu in the circle for the second game in a row for your Lady Panthers here in game 2. And the first pitch swung on and fouled back for strike 1.
And for the second game in a row, Cantu giving a big lead here. And now it's her job to take care of it. And that's what you want to do with a freshman, is give her as big a lead as possible and give her that confidence moving forward. And Camila last night was 0 for 3. She did line hard to second base in the 6th inning.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Swing and a miss for strike number 2.
And we're still waiting for our first strikeout of the series.
That's right. That's right. We mentioned that last night, that we had 0 strikeouts all night. We didn't get the first walk till like the 5th inning, as both teams aggressive at the plate, just swinging away. Here comes the 0-2. Just outside for ball 1. Lexi really wanted to be rung up, as she just, you saw her body language. So the count is 1-2 to the batter, Camila Figueroa. Just high, evens up the count at 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
We saw the Lady Bears a little more patient later in the game at the plate. They were able to draw those walks. You talk about the walks that came later in the game.
With a 2-2 count.
Swung on, hit to left field. In comes Hinojosa, and she makes the grab. So you were talking about her defense last night. Continues to play great defense, as she had to come up a little bit for that one, but made it look easy.
We were joking actually before the game, because her father is assistant coach Daniel Hinojosa. Right. I asked him about that, and he asked her about that play, and she just kind of misjudged the play a little bit, but she kind of had to paddle to her right and into her left and then back to her right, but still was able to make the play. It was a nice job there. This time, she just needed to move a little forward there. She took about, 3 or 4 steps and then make the play.
That'll bring up, Larissa De Hoyos. De Hoyos swings at the first pitch and fouls it back for strike 1. Craig and Nunez going out there to try to get that one. Neither one of them could reach it on time.
And the numbers on Larissa was 0 for 2 last night. She did draw a walk and scored a run, and that was in that 5th inning.
Little low for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to the batter, De Hoyos. Little low for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike on the batter, De Hoyos.
One of the things we talked about with Cantu was, if I was wondering, is she getting tired in those last few innings? But Coach Hinojosa kind of told me that he thinks it was more because of the weather.
Base hit to the center fielder. Lola Reyes picks it up in one hop, brings it right in. So De Hoyos, as you mentioned, Mike, 0 for last night, so that's her first hit of the series.
Right, and going back to Cantu, remember that towel she had, and we saw her use it, and and it had to do with the grip of the ball. And we talked about how humid the weather was last night before the front came.
That'll bring up Amory Vega. She was the catcher last night, back at second base today. Showing bunt, puts it down. Third baseman Solis picks it up, goes to first, and gets the lead runner. Gets the out at first, excuse me.
Nice
Lead
play
runner
by
goes to
Solis for
second.
out number
So
2.
De Hoyos advances to second.
Does advance his second.
So a great job there by Rodriguez to move over to get to the base on time for the out at first.
That'll bring the top of the
So we'll give
And-
credit,
Levy
Emery will give her
Rodriguez.
credit for a sack bunt. It was a bunt, correct?
Yeah, sack
so
bunt.
5-3 sack bunt. Moved the runner to second base.
Yes. So we go to the top of the order. Rodriguez is 1 for 1 here in this ball game. A base hit to right field to get things going today, and she scored on that hit from Flores.
So now she has a single and a double in the series, 2 for 5 overall. Double and scored in the first, just as you mentioned.
Just a bit low for ball 2. 2-0 count on the batter, Rodriguez.
It's just down low for ball 2.
Who everybody calls Z.
Hit by pitch, so she'll take first base. And Adelmi is Imelda backwards, and Z is for Zenaide, which is Diana with a Z at the end backwards. So they just call her Z.
Z. Let's keep it simple.
Brings up number 23.
So there's runners at first and second, and the shortstop, Juliana Guajardo, as we mentioned, she's seeing action for the first time because she was out competing at regionals in track and field.
And my understanding was that she competes in the mile relay, or the 4x1 and the 4x2, I beg your pardon, relay. So we can congratulate her on that accomplishment and welcome her to the series. And she bats on the left side, from the left side.
Wonder if she's a switch hitter. Don't remember her batting from the left side the first time at the plate.
I was thinking the exact same thing, Joe.
Outside for ball 1.
Hitch outside for ball
She
1.
did pop up to the third baseman the
Right.
first time at the plate.
Right. So perhaps with runners at first and second, maybe she thought maybe I'm going to try the left side.
And with the wind blowing that way.
Yeah, excellent point. Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing there.
So 1-0 count to her. She's going to show bunt with 2 outs, and she's not going to bunt with 2 outs. And that is right down the pipe for
Right down the middle for
strike
strike
1.
1.
But then again, she is a track star, so a bunt could possibly happen with someone with that much speed.
Or even a slap.
Right.
I wonder if she will try to slap the ball.
Swung on, little late
Ball
swing
fouled away for
off the
strike
net,
2.
and a great catch by Coach Rodriguez.
With 2 outs.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes on the batter, Juliana Guajardo.
Yeah, the coaches over there were kind of giving him a little salute there for making that great catch. And even some of the fans were having a little fun with him.
Counts at 1-2.
Here comes the 1-2. Just outside for ball 2.
Ball tied, evens count at 2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes. There are 2 outs here in the top of the second inning.
And 2 on.
And 2 on, exactly. As you mentioned last night, Mike, deuces wild.
Deuces were wild, and the hitter was number 2 at the time.
That's right.
It was deuces all around.
Here comes the 2-2. Little low, count is now full. So with the full count and 2 outs, runners are going to be going.
Just in time. Brings to a full count.
So pretty big pitch coming up.
Yeah,
A
the
big moment for the Lady Bears.
So here comes the payoff pitch from Cantu. Stopped by Lexi. She's going to go to first, and did not get it on time. A single for Guajardo. We were talking about her speed.
The base is loaded.
Great stop there by Lexi, saving a run there. I actually thought she would try to make a play at third base, but she decided to go to first. But Guajardo just too fast, and that's where her track speed paid off, as you mentioned. So she'll get credit for an infield hit, but the score remains 5-1. The bases are now loaded.
And that'll bring up the pitcher, Ari Hernandez.
And she lined hard to the pitcher.
Yeah, 0 for 1 tonight, and
0 for
that's
1.
right, Mike. She did line out hard to Cantu the first time at the plate.
So she's 1 for 4 in the series, but she can really help herself here. Golden opportunity. Lady Bears already stranded 2 in the first. Lady Panthers hope it's 5.
Little high for ball 1.
Ball just up top for ball 1.
Hernandez only a sophomore, so we have a freshman versus sophomore here, so we'll potentially see this matchup for a couple of more years.
Inside ball 2. And both ball clubs overall
Inside
very
for ball
young.
2.
Something I didn't know, Joe, either was that we talked about how the Lady Panthers and Lady Bears played earlier this year, and they won that game 7-1. They also played in a tournament, and the Lady Panthers won that game as well.
Yeah, I knew they had played twice. I just couldn't remember where that second game was, because I was told that there had been 2 games between these 2 ball clubs. That is one right down the heart of the plate for strike 1. So, yeah, one of the fans had mentioned that they had played twice, but I just couldn't find that second game. I was looking it up.
Yeah, I think they played early in the year, and then they had a non-district game a little after that.
Right. 2-1 count on Hernandez. Now the count is 3 balls and a
Just
strike.
up top for a 3-1 count.
So let's see what Cantu dials up behind in the count 3-1. Here he comes. That is ball 4, and they'll walk in a run.
Fernie gets on, brings in a run for the Lady Bears.
5-2 now the score. 2 outs here in the second.
So Ari also gets credit for an RBI there on that walk. And now their best hitter is coming up here, Alyssa Flores, who's had a great series already with 4 hits overall. She singled and was stranded at third in the first inning. And that's the reason why I think we're having this conference, because it's their number 4 hitter, and that's their best hitter.
Yeah, she's the one that drove in the first run of the ball game. So a big at-bat for the Lady Bears. A big at-bat for the defense of the Lady Panthers. So we'll see what Cantu does here with this one.
Gonna bring up number 14, Alyssa Flores.
With this at-bat, having Flores at the plate. This is the 7th batter of the inning. I think this is the most they've gone in an inning so far in this series. First pitch, just a bit low for ball 1.
And we talked about last night how Cantu, only a freshman, was going to have adversity in big moment situations. This is another big test for her right here, going up against a hitter like her with the bases loaded.
Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Swing and a miss for strike number 1.
And Flores was going for the fence with that swing.
Now I hear some of the fans from both teams getting into it a little bit. I think they understand the situation as well, what's at stake and who's at the plate and who's in the circle.
Runners will not try to make an attempt to take a base, as that wild pitch just got away from Cantu and way over the head of Nunez. So the count is now 2 balls and a strike to Flores.
I'm surprised the runner at third didn't try to score, but my thinking there is, hey, we have our best hitter at the plate. let's not take any chances. Let's see what she can do.
So here comes the 2-1. Swung on, fouled out of play. Count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes on the batter, Flores.
Flores facing a 2-2 count with 2 outs.
Here comes the 2-2. That is on the foot. It is on the foot of Flores. So now 2 runs come in without even swinging the bat.
So she gets credit for an RBI as well, correct?
Hit by pitch,
hit by pitch, and then a run batted in.
So 2 runs come in without physically making contact with the bat. And now the score is 5-3, and that'll bring up Azul Rios. She got on via an error, a throwing error by Lexi Escamilla in the first inning. So bases continue to be loaded with 2 outs here in the top of the second. That pitch is low. Good stop by Nunez.
Nunez has been busy.
She's had a couple of really good stops. Yeah. Just one that really got away from her, but that one was high. So here comes the pitch from Cantu. That on the outside for ball 2.
Yeah, Nunez wanted that pitch, and she was waiting and trying to see if the umpire would call a strike, but a little bit outside.
So 2-0 count on Rios. Ball 3.
Interesting situation here. Do you let her swing or do you make her throw a strike here with the bases loaded?
I think both. I think Cantu's got to throw a strike. And if I'm the batter, and that is right down the pipe, I'm swinging at it.
If it's a pitch here that you want.
Yeah. That's ball 4. 4 straight pitches puts Rios at first and brings in yet another run. So all 3 runs have come in without having to swing the bat. So Coach Rodriguez is going to go out to the mound or to the circle to talk to his young freshman pitcher. And we'll see what he tells her in this situation. 3 runs have come across here in the second to bring the Bears to within 1 run in the ballgame, 5-4. And again, all of those coming without having to make contact with the pitch. A lot of pressure on the freshman here in Game 2 of the bi-district playoffs. So the 9th batter in the inning is coming to the plate, Alexa Avila. She grounded out to the shortstop her first time at the plate last inning. So
I really wonder if one of the things Coach Rodriguez is saying is trust your defense. Make them put the ball in play and trust your defense. And we saw in Game 1, the infielders and even the outfielders make some great plays out there.
So 2 outs and bases still loaded. And the 9th batter of the inning is Alexa Avila. Cantu trying to get out of this jam here. That one at the knees for strike one.
Strike right down the middle.
That's a pitch that was really good for her last night. Right at the knees, and we're starting to see her go back to that now here in the second inning. We'll see if she continues to throw that there. Breaking ball gets it to the shortstop. She'll go to second for the third out. So a good job by Lexi Escamilla tossing it to Mia Rodriguez for out number 3. But the Lady Bears did get 3 runs on just 1 hit, left 3 runners stranded. 5-4 is the score. Lady Panthers on top. We go to the bottom of second.
Before Dania Pulido became an attorney, she was a student at Weslaco ISD. She was a member of the National Honor Society and a cheerleader. She earned her degree from St. Mary's University, then graduated from St. Mary's University School of Law. Now she is Dania Pulido, attorney at law for Texas Legal Services Center in Austin. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Dania Pulido, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
Lady Panthers coming to the plate in the bottom half of the second inning after sending 10 to the plate in the first inning. They'll send Lola Reyes, Alexis Solis, and Mia Rodriguez to the plate as we begin the second inning. Mike, 9 runs have already been scored in 1.5 innings, and we've already had a 1-hour ball game, and we just started.
Yeah, we're just starting here. It was a 5 o'clock first pitch here. And now the Panthers, with the meat of the lineup coming up, as you mentioned, starting with Lola Reyes. She scored in the first inning. And now let's see if the Lady Panthers could get some of these runs back.
Showing bunt, brings it back, and lets it go by for ball 1. Reyes with a lot of speed, and they send both the third baseman and the first baseman up for that one.
Reyes coming off a triple at last bat.
And the wind is still blowing pretty hard here.
It picks up. The gust does pick up. Again, she shows bunt, lets it go by, and that is in there for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike on the batter, Lola Reyes. So here comes the 1-1. Slap over the shortstop. What placement, Mike? You could not ask for a better at-bat.
She bats from the left side, and then she slaps it to left center field for another base hit here. And Lola's outstanding hitting continues.
And that'll bring up Alexis Solis. She had a hard hit single to center field the first time at the plate.
And she scored and also has an RBI.
Yeah.
Already with 3 hits in the series.
So leadoff runner on for your Lady Panthers.
Pitch outside for
Takes a
ball
good
1.
sizable lead, but no play attempt on her.
And I've noticed the third baseman kind of creeping in. Wonder if they expect her to either bunt or slap it toward her side.
Not really familiar with Solis playing any kind of small ball. Swing and a miss, strike 1. And that was a good swing from Solis. They brought over the second baseman, Vega, to cover first as the first baseman was coming up. As you mentioned, Mike, they may be anticipating some kind of bunt, but again, as I mentioned, I've never seen or known of Solis to play any small ball. She just gets up there and rips it. As John Daly says, I'm just going to grip it and rip it.
The old golfer.
Yep. That is in there for strike 2.
Just in the box for strike 2.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes to the batter, Alexis Solis. So here comes the 1-2. Swung on, and that is hit. Gets by the second baseman. And the third base is Lola Reyes.
What do you think, Joe?
I think you got to give her a hit because she had to move to her left.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a base hit. And once again, it's to right field, going the other way. A lot of these hitters today going on that side.
Yeah, because she also had to contend with Reyes jumping in front of her, which also hindered her getting to the ball. So that'll bring up Mia Rodriguez. Rodriguez, a ground ball right back to the pitcher her first time at the plate. But, of course, she had that big bomb last night.
Now, this I don't expect the Lady Bears to play in with her at the plate.
She does show bunt. They're going to send the runner to second. And Lola's going to score. And that's what we expected from Elizabeth Craig. But she didn't happen, but Reyes does. And we've got a timeout on the field, so we're going to take one as well. You're enjoying Lady Panther softball right here on K-West. Back to live action, a steal attempt from Alexis Solis drew the throw, which allowed Lola Reyes to score. No play attempt at second, but they're going to go ahead and get a pinch runner in there in Emily Galvan as Mia Rodriguez comes to the plate.
So we hope Alexis Solis is okay. I wonder if the turf had anything to do with it. They were kind of looking at her arm there, and we talked about it yesterday a little bit. Like when you slide in the bases, it's a lot different than on dirt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what the coaches told me, as long as you've got pants, it's not a problem. So let's see if Donaldson gives us the count. I think it's 1-0. 0-1, excuse me. So that pitch was called the strike. So after the timeout, get back to live action, and Rodriguez at the plate, 0-1 to count to her. Just outside, even it up at 1.
Evens the count at 1-1.
1 ball, 1 strike on Rodriguez. That one is hit to the shortstop. She picks it up, fires it to first for the out. That one, a great grab by Rios, because that was a little short. And I was afraid that was going to pop up out of her glove. But a great job by Galvan to advance to third.
Yeah, no hesitation. Even though the play was right in front of her, she still hustled from second to third, and without a play, they went to first base. But the Lady Bears got the sure out. First one of the inning.
So that'll bring Clarisa Mejia to the plate. She also grounded out the first time to the pitcher. Swing and a miss. Swing and fouled back. Excuse me. She made contact there. Fouled back for strike 1. Clarisa, a .318 hitter.
1 for 5 in the series. One hit was from last night. RBI opportunity here.
Swung on, hit to left field, and that's a base hit.
Right on cue.
You called it, Mike.
Nice single.
Great piece of hitting there, going to left field. It was, an 0-1 count. And it's funny because I saw Coach Rodriguez kind of demonstrate a little bit on how he wants her to swing the bat. And that's exactly what she did. She got a pitch she liked and drove it to left field. And it looks like we're going to have a courtesy runner.
Number 20, Hannah Montelongo.
Hannah Montelongo will come out to run for the batter with that great hit, Clarissa Mejia. You know, that's one of those textbook swings. You just grab it and drive it to left field. And with one out, your Lady Panthers have already gotten 2 of those runs that they gave up in the top half of the inning back. So the score is now 7-4. Then Romy Nunez will come to the plate. A 301 hitter. She had a double in the first inning.
And we saw Hannah Montelongo come in a few times as a courtesy runner last night. And she scored a run in the 3rd inning.
So Coach Madera coming to talk to the umpire, Donaldson. Make sure that they've got the right numbers and the right names as substitutions are being made, such as courtesy runners. So Coach Madera, satisfied with the explanation, heads back to the dugout. And Coach Rodriguez takes advantage of the time walking by to have a few words with his catcher, Romy Nunez.
Yeah, these rosters, especially for the Lady Panthers, it's pretty deep. So when you look at the lineup and you see substitutions, there's like 7 or 8 players down there. And you have to find Hannah Montelongo down there. But each player makes a contribution one way or another.
7-4 is the score. 1 out, 1 runner at first. Nunez at the plate. First pitch goes by, and a stolen base attempt is made by Montelongo, and she's in there safely. So great job by the Lady Panthers, really beginning to up their base stealing game.
Yeah, and they didn't waste any time. They went on that first pitch. And Montelongo got the green light to go. It was a great job there.
So here comes the second pitch to Nunez. Outside for ball 2.
Pitch outside for ball number 1.
And this is where Romy can be very dangerous at the plate when she's ahead of the count.
Number 2.
Might get a pitch that she likes here.
Outside ball 3. So now Hernandez finds herself behind in the count.
With a runner in scoring position.
So let's see if she goes to something. Out right down the pipe. Again, we mentioned earlier with a pitcher behind in the count when she's got and is forced to throw a strike. I haven't seen the batters go after that, like a 3-1 or 3-0 count.
And I wonder if the runner at second, Montelongo, what they'll do with her.
They'll send her home. That's ball 4.
Great job by Romy.
So that's the first pitch issued by Hernandez today.
Number 5, senior Lexi Escamilla.
And that'll bring up Lexi Escamilla.
That'll bring on
Got a
courtesy
pinch runner.
Number 6, Kira Sosa.
Sosa out running for the catcher, Nunez.
And she scored in the first inning when she came in for Nunez the first time. And Lexi singled in the first inning, right? That's first hit of the series.
Yep.
After going 0 for 4 last night.
You knew it was a matter of time till her bat started getting going. So let's see if it keeps going here. Pitch high and outside for ball 1.
Ball just outside for ball number 1.
Little low and outside for ball 2.
Once again, outside for ball number 2.
And the pitcher there, not the pitcher, but the catcher was trying to kind of bring up the glove a little bit. It was a little too low. So Lexi with a 2-0 count.
That's in there for strike one.
She thought about that one, and she probably wishes that she can have it back a little bit. She kind of had a smile on her face, if you notice. Like,
She goes,
oh,
I,
man,
left,
missed
I,
an
let, I let it
opportunity."
go. I shouldn't have, yeah.
Oh, she's like, give me another one just like that.
So here comes the 2-1 from Hernandez. And this one is driven to right center field. And that's going to get to the fence. 1 run's going to score. 2 runs are going to score. Lexi's coming. And that's a base clearing second in the park home run for your Lady Panthers. And again, we just said, Mike, it was just a matter of time till her bat was going to wake up.
And she goes the opposite way where the wind is blowing, right center field to the gap. PSJA looked like they're having problems with it, with getting the ball over there. And Lexi was already rounding second by the time the Sosa and Hannah Montelongo were rounding the bases. Lexi was right behind them, hustling all the way around. And once again, you mentioned, Joe, an inside the park home run.
We had one last night. We got another one today. And now with 3 more runs coming in for your Lady Panthers, it's now 10-4.
Yeah, I think Lexi was a little upset after going 0 for 4. Now has 2 hits, 3 RBIs in the first 2 innings.
And the first pitch to Elizabeth Craig, missing the strike zone, so it's 1-0 to her.
Craig with a single last at bat.
So 5 runs in the first, 5 runs in the second, and still only 1 out here in the second inning.
Chance to do some more damage here. Pitch high for ball 2.
Pitch outside for ball number 2.
And we've seen Hernandez get behind in the count in the last 3 batters. So she's beginning to throw a lot of pitches to every batter. That one at the letters.
Just catches that corner for strike 2.
For strike 1.
You mentioned Craig singled in the first inning with a couple of RBIs, already with 4 hits in the series. You talk about a hot hitter. She has it right now.
Outside, ball 3.
Ball outside, brings it to a full count.
Three balls and 1 strike on the batter, Elizabeth
Check
Craig.
It's going to be 3 balls and 1 strike is the count.
That one at the knees for strike 2.
That strike brings up a full count.
Now it's a full count.
Yeah, I'm not sure Elizabeth really liked that pitch. I didn't like it either. I wouldn't have swung either.
Did you see Coach Hinojosa there just giving her
Encouragement.
encouragement?
Yeah.
It's okay.
So this one is going to be the payoff pitch. Here he comes. Swung on. Shallow right field. This time is Aldemir Rodriguez does make the grab for out number 2.
And she's still not wearing the sunglasses, I noticed. So apparently she's comfortable playing right field, even though the sun is coming from her, toward her face, really. But she made that catch for out number 2.
That'll bring up the left fielder, Dela Hinojosa. Dela is 1 for 1 tonight. She also had a stolen base.
It was her second hit of the series.
Moving up in the box, looking at that one go by for strike 1.
I don't know if you noticed, Joe, there's a little hill on the right side of the right field line there. There are a couple of fans, if you want to call them fans, or people maybe that live around here checking the game out.
Little slapper to second base, and the second baseman, Vega, picks it up, throws it to first for out number 3. But your Lady Panthers do bring 5 in here in the second inning, and at the end of 2, it's 10-4, Lady Panthers on top.
Before Harlan Block raised the flag over Iwo Jima, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. There he played for the Panthers, won a championship, and learned some of the leadership skills he and 7 other students used while serving in the Marines. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prominent graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For war hero Harlan Block, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
Third inning is where we are at, and just like we started the second inning, it'll be Camila Figueroa, Larissa de Hoyos, and Amory Vega coming to the plate for the Lady Bears. Cantu in the circle delivers a first pitch, missing for ball 1.
So we've seen a lot of action, Joe, in the first 2 innings. 14 runs combined, but something that stands out with me is Lady Bears have stranded 5 runners in the first 2 innings. Even though they scored 3 runs in the second, they left the bases loaded. And the Lady Panthers taking advantage there in the second inning with their hits, just like last night. And that to me, that's been kind of the theme of the series so far, is the Lady Panthers coming through with those big hits.
Yeah, clutch hitting is very important, especially in the playoffs. That one right at the knees for strike 1.
Strike number 1.
And, that's what you want, is you really want clutch hitting, because you want to take advantage of when you've got those scoring opportunities. And that's exactly, like you were alluding to right now, Mike, what the Lady Panthers have been doing here in this series. Little low for ball 2. Ball 3, excuse me. Ball 3, 3 balls and a strike.
But it's good to see that Cantu has a 6-run lead again. She had a 4-run lead going into the second, and now it's 6. And that's what you want to do, just like we talked about before, just trying to, the offense coming through and giving this freshman as much run support as possible.
Exactly. Swung on, fouled back, and the count is now full. You talk about run support, Mike.
Brings it to a
with the Bears being the visiting team, so they'll bat first. So they batted first, scored 1 run. Your Lady Panthers come back and answer with 5. They come back in the second inning with 3 runs. Your Lady Panthers come right back and answer with 5 more.
Right, and left nobody on base.
Exactly.
So all those base runners they had, they all came home.
So here comes the payoff pitch to the first batter from Cantu. Swung on, third baseman, Solis picks it up. First, and that's an out.
At first.
Great job by Solis.
Nice play by
We talk about how the Lady Bears last night kind of waited for the ball, but Solis was able to take her time there on that grounder, and she kind of double clutched a little bit, but she has a strong arm going to. We have a
defensive change.
Correct.
Galvan came in because remember Solis was injured, so they're gonna let Galvan come in to play defensively. So Galvan is now at third.
Okay.
And they don't give us those changes, so we didn't get to them until right now that we saw the play being had.
I'm glad that only took you 1 batter to notice that, though.
Well, we went right to her.
Right.
Puts on a single.
De Hoyos at the plate, and she rips one right up the middle for a base hit. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Amory Vega.
That'll bring up number 2.
And we gave her credit for a sack bunt in the second inning. 5-3 sack bunt.
5-4.
5-4. There you go. Yeah, because Mia had to
come and cover
from second to first.
First pitch right down the middle for strike 1.
Cantu catches her looking for strike number 1.
You're talking about the hill out there and some fans watching the game. I think they are watching the game because they got chairs.
Yeah, I think what happened was that they came and kind of went like, well, who's playing? What's going on? And then they kind of see, you know what, let's go get our chairs.
Well, there were some children's games going on, so maybe they're just big fans. Right at Mia Rodriguez, goes to short, goes to first, and the double play. 4-6-3, just like you dial it up.
Yeah, great pickup by Mia on the grounder and just tossed it to Escamilla. And you see that throw she made to first base? Unbelievable.
Double play.
Lexi looked like she is the seasoned veteran that she is. Just comes across and just fires it to first. for that perfect 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Lady Panthers. They lead 10-4. We head to the bottom of the third. Lady Panthers coming to bat in the third inning, and they'll get things started with the top of the order coming to the plate. Andrea Ortiz, Lola Reyes, and Alexis Solis. Andrea Ortiz is 1 for 2 so far in the ball game, singled and scored in the first, and a pop-up to the catcher in the first. It was still in the first,
yeah.
Exactly, because she batted twice in the first inning.
Yeah, she made that last out in the first inning. First at bat, and then made the last out.
Yeah.
Good eye for ball
First pitch
#1.
gets away. First pitch is low, and it is ball 1.
So it was nice to see Cantu get that 1-2-3 inning. Well, it wasn't a 1-2-3 inning because they had a base runner, but she only faced 3 batters, and it was a pretty fast third inning for her.
That one right at the third baseman cannot handle it, and the base is on safely. So that's going to be an E5.
And you wonder, as both teams get to know each other a little bit, playing each other earlier in the year, and then now one game last night, they know how fast Lady Panthers are, and sometimes you kind of hesitate a little bit, and you kind of catch yourself making a mistake there. And unfortunately for the Lady Bears, the young lady wasn't able to get the ball, and there's no way you're going to throw out Ortiz without a clean play.
Reyes has reached twice, once on an error and once on a single, but has scored twice as well. So she gets on and makes things happen.
Right, 3 hits already in the series.
That is going to be a slap hit up the middle. Again, that slap hit really working well for the Lady Panthers. We've seen it come from a few bats of the Lady Panthers.
And the great thing about it is that she just puts it in play, and she finds the spots where they're, the shortstop was trying to make a play. But let's give credit to Ortiz kind of being in the area there, and I think she kind of disrupted the shortstop there, allowing Reyes to make it to first base. And so 2 base runners once again for the Lady Panthers.
So we got runners at first and second with nobody out, and that's going to bring up Alexis Solis. We've got a timeout on the field. Not sure what is happening. But nonetheless, we've got a conversation being had in the circle by the Lady Bears. We were talking about the slap hitting. You were talking about the speed. I know I mentioned this to Coach Madera before the game started. We were talking about the team speed of the Lady Panthers, and he was mentioning the 8 errors last night. And I said one of the things that I noticed from the ball club was the lack of charging coming up to the balls. And he goes, yeah, that's where the team speed of Weslaco really killed us.
And on top of that, the players were playing out of position there. So it's a combination of just not being familiar with how fast the Lady Panthers are and just thinking that they can get a routine grounder and wait for it, where you got to charge it, just like you mentioned, Joe. And on top of that, they were playing their regular position, so just a combination of things, and it led to 8
Showing
errors.
butt to Elisa. She puts down one perfectly, and she advances the runners.
To second and third.
So a 1-4 sacrifice bunt.
Got the job done on moving the base runners with only 1 out.
Yep. So a little small ball being played here by the Lady Panthers, and that'll bring up Mia Rodriguez. She's 0 for 2 tonight. A ground out to the pitcher and a ground out to the third baseman.
0 for 2, but RBI opportunity here.
Yep.
And helps extend the lead here.
That is in there for called strike 1.
In that corner for strike number 1.
Swung on right at the second baseman. Vega comes up and makes the grab for an out. Did it fall?
Lands Rodriguez safely on first.
Well, it looks like the PA announcer called her safe.
They are going to say she did not keep it in her glove. From here, it looked like she did make the catch.
Once again, it's one of those situations where you have to come down with it cleanly, and apparently she didn't.
Yeah.
So
The angle from where we're at, we just couldn't see it clearly because she got kind of covered by the pitcher in my angle. So a great job there. And I'm not sure if I should score that a hit or an error. I think I'm going to give it a hit because she had to come forward. So it was a tough play.
And once again, it's the win factor there, kind of going from left field to right field, and so she kind of had to make a little adjustment there, and we thought she had it, and it just didn't work out that way. So the bases are loaded.
Yeah, 1 out, bases loaded.
Bases loaded for Clarissa Mejia. She is 1 for 2 tonight. Had a good hit to left field her last time at the plate.
Yeah, a very pretty hit the last time.
Just a beautiful textbook swing.
Mejia with a single last at bat.
This time it goes to the second baseman. Runner coming home, they're going to opt to go for the easy out at first.
Out number 2, but brings in a run.
It's a 4-3, but she does get credit for an
Extends the
RBI.
lead
Right.
For the Lady Panthers, 11-4.
And with 1 run coming across, the score is now 11-4. Got runners at second and third, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Romy Nunez. 1 for 1. She had a double and a walk, but she scored both times.
And that's what matters, is she got on base.
You know, Coach Rodriguez always talks about player development and getting the kids better week in and week out, day in and day out. And as you mentioned right now, that's what matters at the score. It's just getting these girls prepared, being ready, and knowing what to do in all situations. That one is hit at the shortstop. Picked up by Guajardo, fired to first for out number 3. And that is going to do it for your Lady Panthers. But they do get 1 run here in the 3rd inning, extend their lead 11-4. We'll head to the 4th right here on K-West.
Before Harlan Block raised the flag over Iwo Jima, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. There he played for the Panthers, won a championship, and learned some of the leadership skills he and 7 other students used while serving in the Marines. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prominent graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For war hero Harlan Block, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
We're going to the 4th inning. Lady Panthers on top, 11-4. They've scored 5, 5, and 1 in their first 3 innings here. The Lady Bears scored 1 in the first, 3 in the second, none in the third, as the Lady Panthers went 1, 2, 3 with the defense last inning, especially with that inning double play.
And now they got to deal with the top of the lineup here, starting with Z.
Yep, Rodriguez, who's been on twice, a single and hit by pitch, but she scored both times.
So she's been a tough out.
And then, of course, followed by Guajardo and then Hernandez. So the top three hitters, the first 3 hitters for the Bears coming back to the plate here in the 4th inning.
So we're right. It was great to see Cantu settle down in the 3rd inning, and let's see how she does here in the 4th.
First pitch right down the middle for strike 1. We've been talking about that sun and how it's affecting the right side of the field. As it's beginning to set, it's now basically directly in their eyes. You can see that the right fielder and the second baseman with the sunglasses, Elizabeth Craig, has lowered her visor because of that. First set pitch is swung on. Left field is Hinojosa, and she does not get to it. Not sure what happened there. Maybe miscommunication, expecting the center fielder, Lola Reyes, to grab that one because she was there and then just stopped about a step before the ball. So a base hit to get things started for the Lady Bears, and that'll bring up Juliana Guajardo.
And we talk about the the sun setting a little bit. We see the shade kind of creeping in from the right side, creeping in toward home plate. So probably what would you say, Joe, another inning or two that it'll kind of make its way toward home plate?
I know we were joking about the first 2 innings taking a little over an hour to play. I was going to make a comment on that. We started in the sunlight. We may end in the moonlight if the game goes like it was. Showing bunt, little high, and that's going to be ball one.
Yeah, now that the days are getting longer, the sun sets at about 8 o'clock this time of year as we get into May here in the Rio Grande Valley.
Tomorrow's the last day of April.
Yeah. Already going to be May 1st on Monday.
Showing bunt, pop up. Emily Galvan with a grab. We saw that earlier from Solis. Now we see it from Galvan. Those third basemen of the Lady Panthers are playing phenomenal defense.
And if you notice, Cantu kind of let the defense make the play. You wonder if it was better for her or for the catcher to get, but nope, Galvan just hustling in. And that kind of proves right there that I think chemistry-wise, that's what they agree on. Let the third baseman make the play there, and we see Galvan hustling the substitution for Solis, sticking that glove out and getting that first out.
And on the play, Z tags up and goes to second. So there is one out in the inning. That'll bring up Ari Hernandez. She is 0 for 1 tonight. A line drive right back to the pitcher and a walk. She was one of the 5 that have been left stranded today. Speaking of leaving runners stranded on the bag, first pitch to her missing for ball one.
And she does have an RBI because when she drew the walk, the bases were already loaded. So she does get credit for an RBI.
That one just a little bit low for ball two.
So that was her first RBI of the series. She's also scored a run in the series.
That one is in there for strike one.
Just inside for strike number one.
Here comes the 2-1. Swung on, fouled down the third base side of the field. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, hit it pretty hard there, but foul. A lot of the hits going to the right side today. We've seen some toward center field, but
a lot of that's attributed to the pitching speed of Cantu. She is a high-velocity pitcher. And so the batter's trying to catch up to the pitch. Coming in with it late. Swung on. This is going to be in foul territory. And Romy Nunez with a great effort, almost getting to it. She picked it up late. Had she picked it up early, she would have made the catch easy. But she picked it up late, but still made a great effort and almost came down with it.
I mean, you think about it, Joe. She has to throw her mask and
right.
get up and then stick the glove out. Not an easy play for the catcher, but
not at all.
But excellent effort there. Almost had it for out number 2.
But its count will remain at 2 balls and 2 strikes with just one out here in the 4th inning. This is a fly ball. Escamilla under it, and she makes it easy for the second out.
Number 2 for the senior.
Yeah, anything around Escamilla, she will come up with the play. She called everybody out, stuck that glove out, and cleanly makes the out. And the runner remains at second base. So great job there.
And that'll bring up the ever-dangerous Alyssa Flores.
And that's why it was a big play there, because you have their best hitter coming up now. She has 2 RBIs already in this game.
Single and hit by a pitch the last time up at bat.
So 5 RBIs in this series. She's been a tough one.
She's accounted for half of the runs. First pitch low.
Ball way inside for ball number 1.
Swing and a miss, strike one.
Swing and a miss for strike.
That was some heat from Cantu. Flores just could not catch up with that one.
Yeah, I got by Flores on that pitch. You wonder if she was expecting a different pitch.
1-1 count to Flores. Fouled back. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Strike
Came with another
2.
fastball, didn't she?
Yep.
With 2 outs.
We'll see if she does the same thing, knowing that Flores is having a hard time catching up to it.
Yeah, this is what makes it fun, though. He's like, I'm coming. I'm coming with the heater. See what you can do with it. Still waiting for that first strikeout.
Little low for ball 2.
Just down low.
2
even
balls,
in the count
2
at
strikes.
2-2.
So here comes a 2-2. Swung on, fly ball. Lola Reyes going after it, can't get to it. And a run will score. So that's a RBI single for Flores. Just got it into no man's land.
Hit it at a perfect spot there. Lola Reyes with an opportunity, but lands just a little off the glove there.
A little bit out of her reach, exactly, Mike.
So Flores with her 6th RBI of the series.
And with that, the score is now 11-5. And that'll bring up Azul Rios. So Azul Rios reached on an error and was walked. She's been on twice and has been left stranded both times she's been on base. But she seems to be able to get on. Last night she was walked twice. So she's been walked 3 times in the series. So she's really been able to go deep in the pitch count. Kiera Sosa going out to left field. That's the only change I saw. So now in left field is Kiera Sosa. At the box or at the plate is Azul Rios.
Number 6 of Azul Rios.
So 2 outs here in the inning. Runner at first in Flores. Rios at the plate. Just on the outside part of the plate.
It's just outside for ball 1.
For ball 1.
I saw Nunez talk to the umpire there. Like, was that a ball? Really? Like,
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah, we're not
missed
right
it.
on top, but that looked pretty close. Snap back throw to first. A little behind the runner. Goes out into right field, but a good job by the right fielder, Andrea Ortiz, to come back and make sure that the runner doesn't advance. Inside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to the batter, Rios.
2-1.
That one catches the corner for strike 2.
Cantu catches are looking for strike number 2.
Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So let's see what Cantu draws up here with the 2-2 count. Going again to that outside corner, missing just a bit. And now the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, Flores is going to be running.
Brings it to a full count.
I really thought we were going to have our first strikeout here, that last pitch. But A little bit outside there.
Yeah, she's looking to go to the outside part of the plate, especially in a left-handed batter to try to get her to draw it to left field. That one right down the middle, and we've got our first strikeout of the series.
Wow. And what a time it came as well. With a runner on, getting out of the 4th inning. Caught looking there. It only took, 11 innings to get the first strikeout of the series.
11-5 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. You're enjoying Lady Panther softball right here on K-West.
Weslaco ISD graduates receive more than $4 million in college scholarships, including dozens who will play college sports. More than 900 received a certification and are ready for the workforce or continuing their education. Over 400 honor graduates will have opportunities to study at top-tier universities. And we are proud of our scholars graduating from medical school, law school, business school, and Ivy League universities. Weslaco ISD, the right choice for high school and beyond.
Bottom of the 4th inning, Lexi Escamilla, Elizabeth Craig, and Kiera Sosa due up for you Lady Panthers. We were mentioning this earlier, Mike. Lexi's bat has gotten hot here in Game 2. She had a single and then that in-the-park home run that she just hit it into the gapper and got on her horse and went.
3 RBIs for the afternoon. So after going 0 for 4 yesterday, 2 big hits in Game 2. Let's see if she can get on base to start the 4th inning.
Escamilla looking to come off that home run.
So first pitch to Escamilla is going to be low for ball 1.
I don't know if fans notice between innings when the Lady Panthers come out with their signs and their little costumes on and, having a great time. I know they've done that for,
years.
Years and years. I wonder, are they ever going to have a Joe Aguilar costume or
a
Val Zamora costume or
a Vinny Berry.
A Vinny Berry or Carlos Robledo.
I think the first one has got to be Mike Gonzalez.
You really think so, Mike Gonzalez?
Yeah. They know you a lot better than they know everybody else.
So we've seen the unicorn. We've seen a panther. Yeah, they make it fun.
Outside, 2-1 is the count to Escamilla.
Or how about like a Scott Harrison or Fred Alfredo? They make good costumes too.
Yeah. Scott would be a good one.
This guy would be a very good one.
2-1 is the count to Escamilla. That one right down the pipe for strike 2.
And once again, she kind of had that look like, gosh, I wish I could have that pitch back.
And I want to say it was a 2-1 count the last time as well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So the count is even at 2-2, and here it comes, the 2-2 pitch. That one is swung on. Third baseman picks it up, fires it to first, and got it in time. I wasn't sure if she was going to be able to get that one in time because she did hesitate to get that firm grip on it, but was able to fire it across the field to get Escamilla for the first time tonight.
Yeah, and that that defensive player was Alyssa Flores at third. This time she got it nice and clean inside her glove and make that throw to first for out number 1.
And that'll bring up Elizabeth Craig. Craig is 1 for 2 tonight, a single and a pop up to right. Talk about the bat of Craig, and there it is, right down the center of the left side of the infield. A good effort by the shortstop, Guajardo, to just stop it, to keep Craig to a single. So Craig with her second single of the night. That'll bring up De La Hinojosa. We saw Sosa go out. But Hinojosa, defensively, but Sosa's going to come to the plate. Hinojosa is 1 for 2 tonight.
So she has 2 hits in the series overall.
And as she gets on base, she's also a threat to steal because she's already got 1 stolen base tonight.
Yeah, you're right about that. We see Coach Rodriguez met with the Empire, and now he's meeting with PSJA, making sure that everybody's okay.
Yeah, they're just making sure that everybody is turning in the substitution because, as we mentioned, Sosa did go out defensively, but offensively, Hinojosa will stay in the game. And again, as we mentioned earlier, those don't come to us like they would in a D1 college game or a professional baseball game.
Right, they usually have like spotters and people like that on the staff to also help in addition to the press area to help with those kind of things. But here we're on our own.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
So the first pitch to Hinojosa here with one out in the bottom of the fourth. Shows bunt, she puts it down. And the speedy Hinojosa, is that safe at first? The speed of Hinojosa got her safely at first.
Safe at first. Advances a runner to second base.
So with that, Craig will advance to second.
Yeah, Hinojosa laid down a perfect bunt there, but you mentioned her speed, just hustling down to first base.
Yeah, Coach Madera having some words with the umpire, Margano, there at first base, and Margano saying no, she was safe.
Hinojosa's father was right there too, and he was helping the first base umpire with the call there, saying that she was safe.
And that'll bring up the top of the order, Andrea Ortiz. Andrea is been on twice. She got on a single in the first, an error in the third, and scored twice. And she did fly out in the second inning. Shortstop picks it up and fires it to first for the second out.
Runners advance with the out at first. Brings up
so that'll bring up Lola Reyes. Reyes is has two hits and reached on an error. That was that error where the pitcher threw it and it got to the fence, and she was able to advance all the way to third. And two runners came in.
And so even though Ortiz grounded to short,
one runner came in.
Yeah, the runners advanced second and third on that play. But now there are two outs.
This is going to be a slap. Oh, it's going to be foul. That just barely foul. And that one is foul because the wind carried it a little bit.
Yeah, that's the difference from last night to today. But she hit it perfectly. Throughout the day, she's been hitting it to center field. She's been slapping the ball. This time she went down the first base line, and it even fooled a right fielder who was playing kind of shallow. And unfortunately, it went foul by a few inches. She might have had a chance to go around the bases again, just like last night.
You mentioned the right fielder playing up, and that's why I believe Lola went that way, because she saw that she was playing shallow. A slapper to second baseman picks it up, drops it, and the runner is safe, and 2 runs will score.
Well, let's see here. For sure we have one, I think.
They're going to say the runner's out, so no runs are going to come across.
No runs are going to, yeah. I guess enough time passed that she had the ball in the glove long enough for her to be called out.
Yeah, from my angle, it looked like she never had it. But again, we're at a different angle, and the home plate umpire was all over that. Derek Donaldson, he's giving the explanation to both Coach Hinojosa and Coach Rodriguez, telling them that was clearly an out. And so he's got the ultimate say. So no runs come in here in the fourth inning for your Lady Panthers. We've played 4, and it's 11-5. Lady Panthers on top.
Let's go!
11-5, Lady Panthers on top as we head to the 5th inning. Lady Bears will send 6, 7, and 8 to the plate. Avila, Figueroa, and De Hoyos. First pitch, missing outside for ball 1.
Pitch outside for
so they haven't had a problem with Alexa today, going 0 for 2, grounded twice to the shortstop, right?
That's right.
I have on my notes.
That's what I've got.
6-3 and a 6-4.
Right.
She's 1 for 6 in a series.
Yeah, she's one of those that had to be shuffled last night due to the fact that Guajardo was out up at regionals running track for the Lady Bears. That one right down the pipe for strike one.
Just on that outside corner for strike number one.
And now we see the shade creeping up a little bit. And now the funny part is that we can kind of see our heads kind of creeping toward. Yeah, we move our heads a little bit. People will notice.
Right at Mia. She can't hold on to it. Picks it up, fires the first, and they get her at first base. So a great job by Mia to recover and fire it to first to get that out.
And what I like, Joe, about that play is that Mia didn't panic. She stayed with the ball there, even though the ball was kind of hidden underneath her leg area or whatever. She was kind of looking around, where's the ball at? She was able to find it, throw to first, fire it, and get that out.
And again, as we've been mentioning, Mike, that sun beginning to set right behind us, it is, for the most part, constantly in the eyes of the players on this side of the ballpark. Like we mentioned earlier, both Ortiz and Rodriguez have come out with shades, and we've seen Elizabeth Craig just bring that visor down to protect those eyes from the constant just beaming of the sun into their eyes as it continues to just set.
And as a matter of fact, Joe, right before that last pitch, I kind of saw her put her arm up with her glove, kind of trying to see, trying to help herself a little bit here. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter, number 18. It's going to be Sierra Flores.
Sierra Flores played last night. She was, if I'm not mistaken, the designated player. And she was 0 for 3 last night. 2 ground outs to the second baseman and 1 to the shortstop.
Yeah, we kind of joked how Mia was very busy last night with a lot of grounders to her side. And, Sierra hit 2 of them to Mia.
So Sierra Flores lets the first pitch go by for strike 1. So she was 0 for 3 tonight, coming in for an 0 for 2 Figueroa. Inside corner for strike 2.
Inside for strike number 2.
When was the last time we called or we said that there was that the pitcher was ahead 0-2? It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while.
It's been a battle with both of these teams with the pitchers.
Just a bit outside for ball 1. So the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to the batter, Sierra Flores. So here comes the 1-2. Did she go? Did she go?
I guess they're saying no. She was able to hold up. Yeah.
Coach, I'm sorry, Coach. I keep calling the umpire Coach. Umpire Margano, they ask him for a little help. He says, nope, she did not go around. So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Says it 2-2.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
No doubt about that one.
That's a second strikeout tonight.
It looked like a high fastball there, Joe. I don't know if what you saw, but yeah. And now her second strikeout. 2 out of 3, actually. 2 out of 3 hitters that she struck out now after going 11 innings without a strike. Without a strikeout.
Now that'll bring up the left fielder, Larissa De Hoyos. She's 2 for 2 tonight. First pitch swung on, right field. In comes the right fielder, Ortiz. And what a play by Ortiz. Ortiz comes in charging, battling that sun, and secures the out to end the inning. We played 4.5 here in Alamo. And at the end of 4.5, it's your Lady Panthers 11, the Lady Bears 5.
Before Harlan Block raised the flag over Iwo Jima, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. There he played for the Panthers, won a championship, and learned some of the leadership skills he and 7 other students used while serving in the Marines. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prominent graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For war hero Harlan Block, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
Up to the plate for the first time today as she is taking over for Alexis Solis. She done a great job defensively.
A very, very good job defensively coming through with that big catch earlier in the game. And at the plate, I have her in district play hitting 500 with 2 RBIs and has drawn 3 walks.
She did bat in the third. I forgot to mention that. It was a sacrifice play by her. So my mistake on that one. She's second time to bat here in this ball game. First pitch to her is low for ball 1.
Pitch down low for ball number 1.
It just goes to show, and we talked about it earlier, about the depth of the Lady Panthers have in making substitutions. And Coach Rodriguez will make some moves, and players will step up.
Little outside for ball 2.
Puts her ahead 2-0 in the count.
2 balls, no strikes to the batter, Galvan. So let's see if she gives her a fastball for a strike. That's low for ball 3. Because we've seen a couple 2-0 counts coming right back with just a fastball, especially to Lexi Escamilla, where you've been talking about that face she gives after she goes, oh my goodness, I should not have let that one go by. So the count is 3-0 to Galvan. High ball 4, so it's a 4-pitch walk.
Walks her.
So the leadoff batter is aboard, as we always like to see, and that'll bring up Mia Rodriguez. Mia is 1 for 3 tonight. I got to say this. She's due for a big hit.
She's due for a big hit. And you know what they say about those leadoff walks in baseball? They always come back to bite you.
Yep.
So let's see if Mia and crew can make that happen.
Outside for ball 1. So 5 straight pitches that have missed the strike zone from Hernandez here as we begin the bottom of the 5th inning. Swung on. That's going to drop for a base hit.
Ball drops. Runner safe at first and second.
So everybody is safe, but you notice Galvan didn't know what to do. Should I stay? Should I go? She wasn't sure if it was going to be caught or not. And then when it was dropped, she had to hustle all the way to second. And Mia made it to first easily after the ball landed.
So that'll bring up Clarissa Mejia, the designated player. She is 1 for 3 tonight. Another player that we could say is due for a big hit.
Absolutely. She already has 1 big hit and has a couple of RBIs. I know she had an RBI in the 3rd inning. Yeah.
Pitch outside for ball number 1.
So that pitch missing the strike
Runner
zone,
in
ball
scoring
1.
position, no outs in the inning.
Hit hard to center field, and that's going to get over the center fielder. 1 run is going to score. They're going to hold. No, they're not going to hold Rodriguez. She's going to score. She was probably thinking about the regional final last year. I ain't stopping.
No way, Jose. She was going to round, and she was going to make it all the way home. Great job there by Mejia.
So Mejia with a 2 RBI double. We talked about her being due for a big hit. That one was a big hit.
Absolutely. We saw the center fielder take about 2 or 3 steps forward and then realize that the ball was going over her head. And unfortunately for her, the ball fell, and Mejia with a big-time hit there, 13-5.
13-5 is now the score. And with 1 swing, Romy Nunez could send us to the next round.
Absolutely. 2 more runs, and the game is over.
Hannah Montelongo coming in on as a pinch runner.
Nunez at bat puts our super senior on at deck.
So the Lady Bears having a conference in the circle.
Batting next, number 22.
And again, Romy Nunez at the plate. There are no outs here in the 5th inning. So a great opportunity for your Lady Panthers to put this one away here. So the first missing for ball 1. Coach Rodriguez having some words with Montelongo, making sure she understands the situation. Low for ball 2.
Ball number 2.
2-0 count to Nunez.
For Nunez.
That is hit hard to right field. The right fielder cannot handle it. We know one run is going to score. Nunez is going to go to third, and she'll stay there. A RBI triple for Nunez, and your Lady Panthers are 1 run away from advancing to the next round.
Yeah, did you see what happened there, Joe, with the ball, how it sailed going to right center, and it went more to right field, and right fielder just couldn't come up with the catch there.
That's what happens when you go opposite field, is the ball is always going to tail away. And with this wind going that way, it just exaggerates it a little bit. And the right fielder, Rodriguez, just couldn't judge it properly. You know, because you've got to watch it banana away for the most part, for lack of a better way of explaining that. Then with the wind carrying it a little bit further, she just didn't acclimate to that.
Yeah. And what better opportunity here with nobody out than to have the senior Escamilla up, and then right behind her is Elizabeth Craig, red hot hitter there. So golden opportunity to end this game right now for the Lady Panthers.
Yeah, and Escamilla has had a great bat today. She's singled, and she hit that in the park home run where she just knocked one to the gap earlier tonight or this afternoon. So with a big chance to put this one away and send your Lady Panthers to the next round. That one is strike 1.
Just on that inside corner for strike number 1.
And there is no outs. Nobody out here in the 5th inning. Runner at third, and that represents the advancing of the Lady Panthers to the next round. Swung on and fouled back. You know she wanted that one.
Oh, she took a good swing there.
She wanted that one.
Runner in scoring position, nobody out in the inning.
She was thinking, I just want a hard hit ball to the outfield. That's all she wants, whether it's on the ground or in the air. Because you know that Montelongo is tagging on any fly ball to the outfield. Nothing into the count. Ball low.
Good eye for ball number 1.
This one is hit. This is shallow right field, and it's going to drop. And your Weslaco Lady Panthers are advancing to the next round of the playoffs. And who better to advance them and run rule the Lady Bears than the seniors?
That's right. Escamilla putting the ball in play to the right side. No doubt about it. It was going to drop. And easily scoring
Follow us on
was
social media
Nunez.
for all playoff
So the Lady
updates.
Panthers, once again, moving
We
on
wanna
to the
wish
area
everybody
round.
a safe trip home. Thank you for
Lady
coming out.
Panthers
And once
take
again,
care
the
of
Lady
business,
Panthers
sweeping
15,
the Lady Bears 2
5.
games to none in the bi-district round of the playoffs. A big win last night, 12-5, and tonight, 15-5. Want to thank Vinny Berry for the great job at the camera. Val Zamora doing a great job on the computer, keeping the graphics and the score up to date. Mike Gonzalez, Joe Aguilar saying goodnight from Alamo, Texas, where your Lady Panthers sweep the Lady Bears in the bi-district round of the playoffs to advance to the area round. Opponent to be determined. But you know we'll have that for you on K-West. Final score, your Lady Panthers 15, the Lady Bears 5.